If you're looking for something easy, takes low effort, and is perfect for beginners, then this is the recipe for you. Get ready to learn about one of the easiest breads you can make at home, focaccia. In a large mixing bowl, add 2 cups of lukewarm water heated to 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Add to that 2 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast. About 10 minutes to proof. Adding a little bit of sugar to the active dry yeast and water will help with the proofing. After the yeast is happy and has formed some bubbles, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and 4 cups of bread flour. Using a rubber spatula, mix until the liquid is absorbed and the ingredients form a sticky ball. The mix should be very wet and very sticky. Focaccia dough has a very hydration, so it should be a bit wet and definitely sticky. Did I say sticky one too many times? Probably. Rub the surface of the dough lightly with olive oil. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap and put in the fridge for 18 to 24 hours. At least 18 hours. All the way up to 3 days if you have the time. The longer the better, I say. I've tried both 18 hours and up to 3 days, and the 3 days definitely had some more flavor. After the dough has rested in the fridge, it'll be probably at least doubled in size. Gently pull the dough away from the sides of the bowl using something like a fork. Grab a 9 by 13 inch baking dish that has been greased. Add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the bottom of the dish, and add the dough directly to the center of the pan on top of the oil. Roll the dough gently in the oil until it is completely and lightly covered, and allowed to rest at room temperature for 3 to 4 hours. Focaccia bread takes some waiting time, but very little effort is needed. After resting for 3 to 4 hours, the dough should have about doubled and filled just about the entire pan. You'll most likely see some big air bubbles on top, and that's a great sign. Directly to the top of the dough, add 1 to 2 teaspoons of rosemary. Rosemary is fairly traditional for focaccia. If you're not a fan, just keep the rosemary off. You do you. Fresh rosemary would probably be better, but I found that the dry rosemary works just fine, especially when it is covered with olive oil. Speaking of olive oil, drizzle on top of the rosemary covered dough 1 to 2 tablespoons. And now for, in my opinion, one of the most fun parts of making focaccia. Add dimples to the dough with your fingers and gently spread the dough into the corners of the pan. And yes, this is as satisfying as it looks. And finally, sprinkle a bit of kosher salt on top to season. After this, the dough is ready to bake, and you'll want to do this immediately after the dimples have been made, because if it sits around for too long, it'll rise and proof again and your dimples will go away. Put the bread in an oven preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes, or until all of the edges are golden brown. And that's it, a delicious fully baked golden brown focaccia bread. And this leads to perhaps the most difficult part of making focaccia bread. Allow the bread to cool for about 10 minutes on a wire rack. After this, there's nothing left to do but slice and enjoy. Focaccia is absolutely delicious and so easy to make. Has a golden crisp edge flavored with olive oil, accompanied by a soft and fluffy interior. And there's lots of different ways to change the flavors of the focaccia with the toppings, so have fun and get creative. You could add some sun-dried tomatoes, asparagus, bell peppers. Recently I used focaccia bread as the base for a Detroit-style pizza and it turned out wonderful. Just be mindful that any extra toppings you add, other than simple spices like rosemary and salt, might add to the cooking time of the focaccia. Just cook until everything looks golden brown and you should be just fine. Let me know if you try making this bread for yourself. I'd be really curious to hear how it turns out for you. I wish you all the best of luck in your future bread making endeavors. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and until next time.